Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I got a request from one of my subscribers about how to plant seeds, because when I did my seedling video I didn't include that part. Kind of an oversight, I guess, because I'm just so used to doing this. So now I did start more seeds just yesterday, but I'm going to do this video to kind of show you how easy it is just to get started. So my peas, you guys, you see my peas? They're getting so big. So as we're talking about starting seedlings, I do want to talk about peas. So at this time of year in the hot heat, it's really hard to get peas to grow. I plant them over here by the greenhouse, behind the apple tree and the grapes and everything, because I want them to be fairly shaded. Now they get morning sun, which is fine. It's not as hot, but you want them to be in a shaded location. So when I start my peas, I start the first set, and then a couple days later I start the second set, and then I start more. So I've started 3 rounds already on my peas, because as they put out their peas, they kind of get tired and hurting looking. So I like to keep a lot so I have a nice variety and a nice amount of peas in my kitchen. So now seed starting, when it comes to lettuce, it can be anything that you want in your salad, you know. Like I planted a lot of beans, or not beans, pardon me, beets, because I use the beet tops in my salads on a regular basis, right? Like it's a nice color, it's a nice flavor, and it's another green, you know. So is dandelion, you guys. I put those in my salad too. Okay, so when I'm doing my seed starting, I use a premium potting soil mix. Now the reason for that is that it's a nice soft fluffy, hang on here, open this up for you. It's a soft fluffy type of dirt, and it's got little bits of what is that, perlite in there. So it provides really good drainage, and that's super important. Again, when you're starting seeds, you want the ground to be soft and easy to work with and have good drainage. Okay, so this is my, there, I'll show you guys. This is my little seed starting area that I have out here. These are some of the seedlings from my first batch, and these ones are from my second batch. So these are all calendula, there's nasturtiums, there's kale, chamomile, sweet pea, a couple marigolds that made it. And that is the ones from my original planting. Now in this container, see, when I was on a live stream, someone asked about what can you plant seedlings in. You can plant them in anything that you want. Oops. Hi. You can plant them in anything that you want, any container. It's good if it has drainage. If not, you just got to be a little bit more vigilant on making sure that it's not sitting in water and that it is wet enough. So I started a bunch of lettuce and spinach in this container, and it's a ceramic dish, and it's going to sit up on my patio table underneath the gazebo, so it gets lots of shade, and I should have nice fresh lettuce right outside my door, which is super great. Now primarily I start most of my stuff in these little cups, from the smaller ones to the bigger sized ones and everything in between. You saw that I started my seedlings the first time in a tray. Now one of the things that I can't emphasize enough is when you're starting seeds, here I'm going to put you in the stand, hopefully you stay there. When you're starting seeds, you want the nice fluffy dry soil, right? But you've got to make sure it's wet before you plant your seeds. Otherwise the seeds are going to move around when you add the water. So I'm using my stinky fertilizer that I made, and yes, fertilizer stinks when you make it yourself, but that is so good for the plants. So now you just basically take it and pour it in there, and because again it's so light and fluffy, I like to kind of manually mix it up a little bit just to get it nice and wet, right? You really, if it's not dripping out the bottom, it's not wet enough, so you just keep adding until it starts to drip out the bottom. You really want this soil to be really wet, to provide good moisture for your seedlings, and you want it to have good drainage, right? And that's where the perlite and, you know, just spending that little bit of extra on good potting soil, I think, is important when you want to start your seedlings. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of these because I'm going to plant a few more things. Now, I think I mentioned before, I might not have. I bought a lot of my seeds. I either do my own seeds, make my own seeds, or when I buy them at the dollar stores. Now, they have non-GMO. Some of them are, what do they call them? Heirloom varieties. They have really good seeds, and they're 3 packs for $1.25 now. And you can't beat that. They have all like the common stuff, the lettuce, tomato, peppers, some of the herbs, corn, carrots. They have all of that stuff. And you can really save a ton of money. Ooh, that stinks. Okay, so tonight I am going to be planting, in this container, I planted the Grand Rapids lettuce. So now on the back of all of these packets, it'll tell you, here, this is the better one. It'll tell you, am I going to have it upside down? Like how deep to plant them, how far apart to plant them. It'll tell you a lot of the information right on the back of the seed packet. So this one is the romaine lettuce, and it says the planting depth is 1/4 of an inch deep. So you want to make sure your hands are dry before you pour your seeds out, because they'll stick to your hand. And look how tiny, hang on here, look how tiny romaine seeds are. I can't even show you guys. Hang on here. Woo! You see them? They're very, very tiny. And if your hands are wet, you'll make an absolute mess. So now I'm going to take this pot. Oh, hang on here. Okay, I'm going to take this pot, now that it's nice and wet, and I'm just going to create some divots where I want the seedlings. So I'm going to start 4 romaines in this one pot, or maybe even 5. I'll put one in the middle. So now I always put more than one seed, so just in case the seed doesn't come out, you have a backup. And then if they do all show up, then you can separate them into their own pots or into the ground or anything. Remembering that lettuce is another one that'll burn really easy from the sunshine. So if you have a shaded area in your yard where you can plant lettuce, then that would be a great spot along with the peas. Okay, so now I have the little seedlings in there. Do you see the little seedlings? I'm going to take this dry soil, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on top. Just a little bit, not a lot. Okay? Now because your soil was so wet when you started, you don't need to re-water it now, because it will soak up the water from beneath, right? The stuff that you added, and it'll hold that plant, the seedlings, really nice and tight, right? So you give it a little pat down. You don't squish it, but give it a little pat down. Make sure that they're nice and comfy in there, in the dirt, and nice and moist, and that's it. So now, again, with seedlings, hang on here, I need a drink. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful Sunday. I have been extremely hard at work in the garden. See what I do, you guys? In this water, I add, what's in here? I have lemon balm, and I have rose petals from my roses. And it just sits in my water, so I'm getting all those vitamins and minerals, because there's water-soluble properties, right? It doesn't only work with hot water. It works with cool water or sun tea. You can set this in the sun and get those properties that way. Okay, so I'm going to look at my list here quick. Okay, so now when you start your seedlings in the morning, you want to come out and you want to have a spray bottle of just water, and you just want to spritz it. Just give it a little spritz throughout the day. Make sure that the soil doesn't look dry. If it looks dry, just give it a little spritz. Look at your packets regarding your germination date, how long it takes to come to fruition, and be patient. Sometimes they take a little longer. Sometimes they'll pop up right away. You just never know. I have so many seeds going right now, you guys. I'm trying to get a jump on, Usually I start my chicken feed stuff a little bit later, so I start corn and sunflowers just for them. And I try to get that done because I want to get it nicely dried and put away before fall comes. So that's my thing. Let me see. Oh, and once these start to grow, some of them will be stronger. Some of them will they'll look great. You can separate the little seedlings. Once you have a couple leaves on them, usually, depending, you'll be able to tell if they're strong. They'll get their first original 2, and then when they get 2 more, usually they're good at that point to transplant them. And then you would just use like a little chopstick or something to bring up the roots, and then slowly, gently separate them, and then replant them into their own pots or into the garden, into the ground, or whatever. And you really do want to keep them moist. You don't want to keep them wet. You want to make sure that there's good drainage in it. And if you need seeds, then you just put them out in the sun and let them bolt, and then there's your seeds, and the seeds will be climatized to your area. So again, don't forget to eat your beet tops. I have kale going. I love kale. It's another one that you can start from seed. There's so many options. It's just whatever you like. I was going to start some butter lettuce, but I'm out of the seeds. So on that note, I am probably going to go purchase butter lettuce, plant some, let it bolt, and get my seeds. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I explained everything that I'm talking about sufficiently for you guys to start your seeds. I look forward to any comments down in the comments section or questions. I still haven't picked a name, you guys. I think I'm gonna do the Learning Tribe, or well, I really like local learners, like loco, like L-O-C-O, loco, because I'm a little bit loco. Anyways, I'll figure it out in the next coming days. I do have another video that I will be dropping in the next few days. I just got to get it done. The weather is finally coming around. We're getting some sunshine. I want to do another yard update because my entire yard is going crazy right now. I kind of missed it with you guys. I didn't show you the patch of salmon berries that I have. Here I am. Maybe I can show you right now. So, see all these? These are all salmon berries. Do you see that? This whole patch along here. These are all salmon berries. I don't know if you guys have salmon berries. I know that we all have different fruits and different stuff around us. A few other things I wanted to say. You know, when we grow peas, you can eat the leaves, the pea leaves. They're not going to hurt you. And again, eat your dandelions, your plantain. I've got videos on it. It's all really good food. I have a wonderful video on lamb's quarter. Lamb's quarter is a wonderful medicinal. It's like a wild spinach, and it's such a viable, nutrient-dense food for us that we can eat and use just like spinach. So check out some of my other videos. Thank you so much for coming by my channel. I am so excited about the growth in my channel, and I look forward to learning and growing with you. Thanks for coming by. Bye-bye.